Hi there, my name's Bill. I'm your average 40-year-old bloke living in Austin, Texas. I work a regular 9-to-5 job at a tech company downtown. Not a tech wizard or anything, but I've been with them long enough to understand the jargon, to know the ropes. Got a nice house in the suburbs, nothing fancy, but it's home. Got a lawn that takes up most of my weekends, a barbecue grill I barely use, and a couple of worn-out recliners. It's just enough space for me and the missus, or it used to be. Sarah, that's the wife. Well, ex-wife now. We met in college, fell in love, all that jazz. She's a looker, I'll give her that. Wavy chestnut hair, sparkling blue eyes, a laugh that could light up the room. She was my sunshine, and I thought I was hers too. We didn't have kids, Sarah wasn't keen, and I didn't push. It was just the two of us, a perfect little world, or so I thought. I'm not from Austin, originally from Corpus Christi. Moved here for Sarah, she got a job at the university. I didn't mind the change, got a decent job, and made a few good mates. The best of them was this chap, Rick. Rick, the good old boy. We'd hit it off from day one. Both of us shared a love for the Cowboys and the good old Texas BBQ. He was a fitness freak, always hitting the gym, running marathons, you know the type. Rick was a part of our lives. He'd come over for games. We'd hang out at the bar, a regular trio, so to speak. So, that's a bit about me, Sarah, and Rick. Just another slice of life in suburban Texas. But as they say, calm waters run deep, and boy, were we about to find out. Rick was a single guy, attractive according to most women, worked at the local gym as a trainer. With his tall frame and chiseled jawline, he had the looks of a Hollywood hunk. But Rick was more than just muscles and good looks. He had a sharp wit, a sense of humor that could leave you clutching your sides. Rick and Sarah got along well too. They shared a similar sense of humor and a love for those dreadful reality TV shows that I couldn't stand. We all spent a lot of time together. Looking back, I was so naive, so blind to the signs. That's the thing about trust, right? Once you have it, it's easy to miss the signs, to overlook the obvious. It's not that you're stupid, you just can't fathom that the people you love could betray you. But they can, and they do. And when you finally see it, it's like a punch in the gut, a stab in the back. It shakes you to your very core, makes you question everything you thought you knew. So there you have it. The stage is set, the characters in place, a perfect suburban picture. But remember, things aren't always as they seem. And sometimes, your closest friends can turn out to be your worst enemies. It started subtly. The late night calls, the frequent meetings, the sudden trips to the gym. I dismissed them as nothing more than friendship. It was Rick, my buddy, and Sarah, my wife. Nothing could be going on, right? One day, Sarah had to leave for a conference in Houston. At least, that's what she told me. She'd be gone for the weekend, leaving me to my own devices. Not a problem, I thought. I had plans with Rick for a game and some beers. Rick and I hung out at the local bar, watching the game, beers in hand. Suddenly, he got a call and excused himself. On his way out, he dropped his phone. I picked it up, and that's when I saw it. A text message from Sarah, missing you already. My heart stopped. It was like a punch in the gut. I tried to brush it off, telling myself there could be a reasonable explanation. But as the night wore on, I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. The following day, I decided to surprise Rick at his place. As I approached his apartment, I saw Sarah's car parked out front. My heart pounded in my chest as I walked up to his door. I didn't want to believe it, but the sinking feeling in my stomach told me something was horribly wrong. I knocked on the door. No answer. I tried the handle. It was unlocked. I walked in to find them, Sarah and Rick, in his bed. They didn't notice me at first, lost in their own world. I felt a mixture of shock, rage, and heartbreak. It was as if I was having an out-of-body experience, watching a tragic scene unfold from the outside. Sarah was the first to see me. The color drained from her face. She started stammering out an explanation, an apology, but the words were meaningless. Rick just sat there, stunned into silence. I walked out without a word, slamming the door behind me. The image of them together was seared into my mind. It felt like a nightmare, but it was real. My wife, my friend, they had betrayed me. The pain was unbearable, a raw wound in my heart. But as I drove away, I felt a wave of determination. They had shattered my world, but they would not break me. The following days were a blur. Anger, heartbreak, betrayal, they washed over me in waves. I couldn't believe that Sarah, my loving wife, and Rick, my best friend, could do this to me. The deceit was too much to bear. I moved out of our house, staying at a friend's place. I didn't want to see Sarah, didn't want to be anywhere near her. I couldn't help but replay everything in my head, looking for signs, hints that I'd missed. I felt like a fool, thinking about how I had let this happen right under my nose. But the more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I couldn't just sit back and let them get away with it. They had ruined my life, and I was going to make sure they paid for it. The gym was Rick's life. He loved his job, loved the reputation he had built for himself. But all that was about to change. I still had a key to his apartment, a key he'd given me for emergencies. I decided to pay him a visit when I knew he wouldn't be there. In his apartment, I found a goldmine of evidence. Photos, text messages, emails, they were all there. Evidence of their betrayal, their deceit. I took photos of everything, made sure I had enough proof to show the world what they had done. I went to the gym the next day, photos in hand. I didn't care about the consequences, didn't care about the fallout. All I wanted was justice. I confronted Rick in front of everyone, showed them the photos, told them what he had done. The look on his face was priceless, a mix of shock, fear, and humiliation. News spread quickly, and soon everyone knew about Rick's betrayal. His reputation was ruined, his job at risk. It was satisfying, watching him scramble to pick up the pieces of his shattered image. But it wasn't enough. Not yet. I had one more card to play. Sarah was next. She had pleaded for forgiveness, begged me to give her another chance. But it was too late. I had made up my mind. I went to the university with the evidence, confronted her in front of her colleagues. The look on her face mirrored Rick's, a look of utter disbelief and fear. Word of Sarah's infidelity spread throughout the university. It wasn't long before she was asked to resign. It was a scandal, one that the university wanted no part of. Sarah was left jobless, reputationless, and friendless. So, there I was, watching as my wife and my best friend saw their lives crumble before their very eyes. It was almost poetic, watching the ones who had caused me such pain suffer themselves. But I knew it was only just the beginning. I wasn't content with just ruining their reputations. No, they deserved more than that. They deserved to feel the same pain, the same betrayal that they had made me feel. The first thing I did was file for divorce. It was a painful process, going through our shared belongings, our shared memories, deciding who would get what. I could see the remorse in Sarah's eyes, the guilt. But it was too late for apologies, too late for regret. She had made her bed, and now she was going to lie in it. I ensured the divorce proceedings were as brutal as possible. I wanted her to feel the weight of her actions, to understand the consequences. I didn't just want to win, I wanted to crush her. I wanted to leave her with nothing. Rick wasn't off the hook either. We had been friends for years, shared so many experiences, so many memories. But that was all in the past now. He was no longer my friend, he was my enemy. And I was going to make sure he paid for his actions. I filed a lawsuit against him for invasion of privacy and emotional distress. The evidence I had gathered came in handy, making my case stronger. I was determined to make him pay, literally and figuratively. The court case was long and arduous, but in the end, I came out victorious. Rick was ordered to pay a hefty sum as compensation. It was a huge blow to him, one that he wouldn't recover from anytime soon. It was done. I had gotten my revenge, made them pay for their betrayal. But it wasn't about the money or the satisfaction of seeing them suffer. No, it was about reclaiming my life, my dignity. The aftermath was just as hard as the betrayal itself. I found myself alone, divorced, and betrayed by my closest friend. But through it all, I found a kind of strength I never knew I had. I was down, but I was far from out. I felt like a phoenix, rising from the ashes of my old life, ready to start anew. In the end, they lost much more than they had gained from their deceit. Sarah lost her job, her reputation, and her marriage. Rick lost his best friend, his reputation, and a huge chunk of his savings. I, on the other hand, lost a wife and a friend, but gained a sense of self-worth, a strength that I didn't know I possessed. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. I'd say it's a dish best served with a side of justice. I wasn't going to let them get away with their betrayal. I had to fight for what was right, for my dignity. And in the end, I won. They tried to destroy me, but they only made me stronger. I am not the same man I was before. I am stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. As for Sarah and Rick, I don't know where they are now, and I don't care. They are a part of my past, a painful memory that I have moved on from. I have no regrets about my actions. They got what they deserved. I am not a victim of their betrayal, but a survivor. I came out of this ordeal stronger and more determined than ever. I learned that I am capable of standing up for myself, of fighting for what is right. And for that, I am grateful. In the end, I am not just an alpha male, but a man who stood up for himself, a man who fought against betrayal and deceit. I am a man who took revenge and enjoyed every moment of it. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way.